So I ended up taking Adventure Synchron this weekend. But last weekend, I tried taking Pure due to the success I had the previous week. But with the minor change, and it was the wrong one. I ended up cutting Jet Warrior, which kept coming up, and I knew it would, but I really wanted to test out the spatter. But I'm not sure if I was willing to cut Satellite Warrior, because Satellite Warrior has been insane these past couple of weeks. I ended up scrubbing out. This weekend, I wasn't even sure if I was gonna go. So at the very last minute, I was like, I guess let's go. I'll just take Adventure this time. And then at the very last minute, I made some minor changes as well. So I was like, oh, okay. Hopefully this pays off. And it actually did. I ended up getting top 8. There was 5 rounds of Swiss. There was round 1 was Sprite. Round 2 was Rescue Ace. Round 3 was Purely. Round 4 was Castira. Round 5 was Castira. And then in top 8, I played against Harrison. He's playing Dragon Link. He ended up winning the event. But, oh my god. So game 1, he wins a dice roll. He goes first. He sets up his board with Seals, Regain, Branded Beast, and Pistols in hand with the Droll. But I have Gamma, and I have like everything I need. I have Gamma, Rides, Access, Synchron Access. I have everything I need. So I end up cracking it. I win game 1. Game 2, I open up all engine, no hand traps. So I'm like, oh, it's not looking great. But I think I could possibly do it because I have access to Gamma. He has one set unknown. It's not a Branded Beast. So I ended up losing to a Call By on my trail, which is so devastating. So I ended up scooping. Game 3, I have Crossout and Lotus, but not enough engine. I don't have adventure access. All I know is that it's not enough, so I ended up setting 2 and passing. So he goes for Striker, searches Boot Sector, activates Boot Sector, and then he activates Effective Night Chain Lotus. And then I rip the Tracer from his hand, and his hand is double Chaos Space, Ash, Imperm Tracer. So I rip the Tracer because I don't want to lose to Savage. He sets his Imperm and passes. My turn, I'm like, wait a second. I only have 1 Ash in here and I have it in my hand, so the crossout is completely redundant. Because I can stop an Imperm, but that's not what's preventing me from playing. What's preventing me from playing and winning is the Ash. So I was like, oh my goodness, I should have put 2. But typically what happens is, the reason why I only play 1 is because going first, you don't want to be drawing multiple Ashes. But I think in hindsight, I think just having the extra copy will ensure that the crossout will most likely be live. That was a mistake I made, I guess in hindsight, but like, it's at 1, it's a 50 card deck. If you haven't noticed, it's pretty huge. All right, let's get started. So you have your Triple Jet, the starter of the deck. It's not usual, but it is in this version. Triple Stardust Synchron. And then of course you have your Triple Enchantress, your Griffin Rider, and your Legal Knight. You're playing 1 and 1 because you're playing double Faithful, because you need to open up with Adventure. Hand traps and Synchrons, it doesn't really produce much. So you need to open this. And since I played multiple Faithful, I felt like giving Faithful some versatility. Being able to search a Legal Knight or being able to search Rider. Because sometimes going second, being able to search a Legal Knight is pretty important because you can have a bounce first and then special Legal Knight, bounce 2 more cards. Deal with interactions right off the bat. Whereas if you go for Griffin Rider, it's an Omni, yeah? So you get a bounce and a negation, right? So you'll bounce 1 and you have a negation. If they can sequence out their cards properly, because Ogre's so prevalent, so this Omni is a bit vulnerable at the moment. The moment you feel like, okay, I have an Omni, so then you start playing, you commit your resources, and then they hit you with something, and then you all negate, and then just Ogre you or something, or they negate this somehow. Then you just... you committed it already. Whereas if you go for the bounce, and then you bounce first, right? That prompts a response right off the bat before you commit anything. And then once you see how they're responding, or even if they didn't have anything at all, then now you feel secure that, okay, now I can play. You know what I mean? Quite important going second. Especially bouncing fields that you can't really bounce. Like if you go Dark Ruler and you just bounce fields, like it's so cool. And then of course you have your Illusions and your Souls. These tie this together because this functions with him, whereas he doesn't really function with the Adventure. I mean, you can do it. There's a combo. Go ahead and check out Donos YGO. He's the one that ended up coming up with the combo. Initially, I wasn't a fan of it because it's so fragile and so vulnerable, but it's just another form of consistency, right? It just makes it to where if you do open up this, there is a combo that can get you to Speeder, which is nice. But preferably, you want to open up with Jet Synchron. Most often than not, since you play double Faithful, you're going to be able to top deck a Faithful or have a Enchantress Engraved to be able to get you the second right, activate right, place the second Faithful, and then have the draw 2 option again. And most of the time, you're going to want to be able to top deck the Mermer with Illusion. You want to be able to have the Mermer in deck facilitate Yazi's viability. Being able to go Yazi pop, and then flow into Marmor, it's insane. It's so good. And being able to equip the Dracoback to the Marmor token is priceless, bro. It's so funny. And then of course you have your brick, which is Marmor, Trail, and Satellite Synchron. He's there because you need him to sequence out your board to get to the Yazi and a Baron play, which is quite crucial. Trail is there for Stardust Synchron and Stardust Simulation, and Marmor is there for resiliency. Then you have your hand traps. You have your Gamma, your Driver, the Brick, your Draws everywhere at the moment, everywhere. And of course you have your Impermanence. You just need these right now. This is perfect because we play cross out anyway. And then this against a Rise Heart is quite nice. This on Era is pretty cool. It'll get banished, trigger Rise Heart, you Gamma it. Amazing. And then you have your Searchers. You have your triple tuning, triple overtake, which is why you need cross out on Gamma and Call By, because you'll lose to draw hard. Like it's just so devastating. And then of course you have your triple rights, your double faithful, your Dracoback. This is just so you can see adventure as often as possible. It just baits draw, baits Ogre on this, and you have Gamma. It's just so good. Which initially I was gonna try Ogre as well in the main deck, but there's some cool things you could do with Ogre as well, because you can play Teleport, and then Teleport and this is Yazi. I don't know. I just didn't feel confident enough in it. And then of course you have your triple tactics, cross out for Droll mainly, just mainly for Droll. Your Fool's Burial, Illumination, Call By, and Duster. This was the 50th card. I wasn't sure what to put in. I could have just gone 49, but yeah, I just ended up playing it. I don't know. It was okay. I didn't really see it much, but need an answer for like back row decks. But it's so good when you open these two together, because like they're gonna interact with you. Ogres everywhere, Trolls everywhere, Ash as well. Like if they draw you after you've gained access to Speeder Summon, because then you just rip the best card that you have. And even if they have more hand traps, ending on like 1 or 2 Omnis is enough, you know, because the hand traps they might have are completely redundant to what you're trying to fulfill. Take away their starter. That's the majority of how the hands consist, right? 3 or 4 hand traps with the starter, ideally, and then they'll maybe get like an extender as a 6th card. So like then you just rip the starter. They stuck with hand traps that you would have negated one. You rip, and then they might have like another draw, maybe a Veiler and Imperm. Okay, it's fair. It's fine, but you're gonna end on 2 almonds anyways. And then you know that you just negate the starter that they might have. Even if you don't open this because you play TG, you're gonna draw into a bunch of cards. So that means if they hand trapped you and you Call By them, or even if you didn't do this and you can push past that interaction, you're gonna end up drawing into this and rip their hand anyways. Like it's just brutal. It's so devastating. Side deck, triple Ash. It's mainly for Despia, Math Mech and Despia. Double Nibiru versus Cash. Double Storm, Dark Ruler, evenly, and of course the staple. You need to play this because you can draw into it through TG. It just seems unfair sometimes. Just say what it does. And now we get to the fun part, right? The extra deck. You play Baron, Satellites, Omega, Exile Synchro, Stardust Dragon, the OG, Yazi, Shooting Riser Dragon. You need this for when you open up Stardust and Adventure. That's the only reason it's here. I mean, there are those chances where you can and make them a 5, and then you set up a Satellite Warrior, which is quite nice. Charge Warrior, TG, Jet Warrior, Speeder. First thing you have Excel, Heralds, Marcher, and Formula Synchron. There's times where like having the option to quick synchro on their turn with 2 things is insane. Like sometimes people can't really play past the setup Satellite. Like it's just hard. It's just hard to play past like a Satellite. So they have to go battle phase. You know what I mean? So like they need to have Imperm and get rid of this card. Otherwise, you're just gonna nuke their board anyways, which is insane. Of course, you have your tokens. Card's insane. I didn't see any issues with it. But yeah, go ahead and try it out. And that's basically gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.